Hey, I'm going to show you a system we've proven over and over and over again with teams all across the country on how you can build up to 500 plus units a year. Do it through profiting from the no, not the yes. Do it from profiting from no, not now, and do it in a way where you build goodwill and deliver value so you feel really good about how you're engaging in the marketplace. Before I do that, I want to share with you a little bit of groundwork of information. In 17 years in the business and working with thousands of teams and tens of thousands of leads, we've found that there's basically four primary lead categories that come into our teams. And it's one, the committed and urgent. These are people who are qualified, they're committed, they need to find that house, they need to be in there within 30 days, they got transferred, they're serious, you know? They're the committed and urgent, and we found that of all lead sources, the committed and urgent is about 5%. Then there's the committed and not urgent. These are people who, they're committed to make a move, they're qualified, maybe they had a third kid and they know they need a bigger house, another bedroom, another bathroom, and they're searching, but they don't need to be in there in 30 days. They've got some criteria they're looking for, they'll make a move. And we found that this is pretty much a 100-day cycle that you're working with on nurturing and converting those clients. The next bucket is the curious and qualified. They're qualified, in fact, often they're well qualified. These are the people who, it's no longer an issue of I need a roof over my head and enough space. They're looking for an ideal lifestyle. They're curious what's out there. Maybe they've watched a little too much HGTV. They're thinking like, hey, what would it be like to have some acreage a little bit outside the city and have, this big extra master bedroom. They're curious, they're qualified, but they're only going to do it if they find the exact right house. That can be a great lucrative market. We found that this is 12-month nurture cycles that we like to work on. And then there's the fourth category of the time waster, which if you've spent any time in this business, undoubtedly you have spent time with a time waster. They come into your open house to grab a sandwich, have a conversation with you. They discuss all the comps in the neighborhood because they did more research on it than you did. And they have no intention whatsoever of buying a house if they're even qualified, And so here's what's really interesting is that, as I said, the committed and urgent, everyone wants the yes, now I'm ready to go buy a house because, right, that pays the mortgage. We want these guys, and this is where 100% of active agents actually focus their attention. It's 100% of the agents hyper-focused on 5% of the market, which drives up competition, it drives up your cost of lead, it drives up the amount of time you have to invest in their conversion. It's an expensive play on all accounts. What's interesting is 95% of the people who will do business from incoming leads, they happen over the next 12 to 18 months, with the sweet spot being at about 9 months. So, 90%, literally 90% of agents never get past the fifth connect. They never get past focusing on this market, which means the 10% of agents who do, those 10% are focusing on the 95% of leads that actually will convert to a yes over time. Which is why you have these agents who get their unfair share of the market. They're out there, and the average agent's doing, in a given market, they're making less than $48,000 a year. These agents are out there doing multiple millions in GCI because they understand this principle and they're focused on it. So this is great. Even better is when we're able to circumvent this process entirely and not be competing with anyone. And that happens when we focus on building a relationship portfolio. Keywords there. It's a portfolio of relationships who've given you permission to be their real estate consultant over time. So if it comes time for them to buy or sell a home or have a friend or family member who is, and they just want good, solid advice, they know they have a go-to person that is there to represent their interests that they can trust to give them solid advice. And that relationship portfolio converts over time to give us repeat and referral business year over year over year. So in fact, what we found is if you wanted to grow that 500 unit business a year, which just think about what that would do for you, we found that the most basic application of models on nurturing and converting, we can expect a 10% return out of our permission-based relationship portfolio. So if I wanted 500 transactions, I need to build a database of 5,000, a relationship portfolio of 5,000 who say, yes, you're my go-to real estate consultant. All right, now that's a good principle. I want to share some of the magic around this with you and some key stats. According to NAR, only 22% of all transactions go back to their same agent that they used before. 78% of those who will make a purchase decision are going to referral, or they're making decisions based off of who markets best into their neighborhood. 78%. That means nearly 8 out of 10 transactions that are out there are not spoken for. Think about that. 8 out of 10 transactions that will happen in your market over the next 12 months, they do not yet have the agent that they would use or refer. That's a massive, massive opportunity. Take that another step. Let me use our base market as an example, the DC Metro. 8.7 million households in the DC Metro. Over 120,000 transaction sides will happen in the next year. We mean 96,000 of them do not yet know the agent they will use or refer in order to have that. Of the 8.7 million households, I only need to identify 5,000. 5,000. Which means the 8,995,000 I can forget about, right? In fact, I don't even want anything to do with them. My math's wrong there, but you get what I'm saying. I need to identify very clearly the 5,000 that I want in my community, that I am uniquely suited to serve. People who I really resonate with, I know, like, and trust, and in return they can know, like, and trust me and value what it is that I have to bring to them. If I can do that, put in my community, then year over year I generate that 10% return. And if you think about it, a 10% return simply means that once out of every 10 years, they either use me or they refer me on average. So of course in that 5,000, you've got your gangbusters, people who refer you 3 or 4 times a year, the people who've moved 5 times. You love the people who do nothing. It averages out to the 10%. By the way, if you're great at relationships, we have teams that have been able to get up to a 30% return on relationships, which is insane in the numbers, in how profitable and how much fun that actually is to build a killer business. So the real secret ingredient is forget about the masses, forget about this quadrant here, focus in on profiting from no, not now, capture them, circumvent the whole system, and you can build a fabulously profitable business as big as you would ever want to go by being tribe focused. Now, one of the best clients we've ever seen execute on this in the history of executing on it is Churchill Mortgage. I mean, they have partnered with Dave for over 20 years now, and they made this decision to align themselves with Dave on serving and nurturing the Dave Ramsey tribe. Let's call them Dave Ramseyites. That's my term. That's no one else's. I call them that. So Dave Ramseyites, they partner on how do we uniquely meet the needs and serve those who have the ambition of building wealth and achieving the true American dream of ultimately owning their home, free and clear. And by doing that, Churchill has consistently grown, explosively grown, over 20 years, year over year, over year, over year, over year. And they've learned a thing or two about how to profit from no, not now. They've learned a thing or two about how to capture and serve a unique tribe by partnering with Dave. And we want to share some of those strategies with you. We want to share with you how you can be uniquely position yourself to serve the Dave tribe in your market even better than you currently are, so that you can build a tribe of people who resonate with you. You share a lot of the same common goals and interests by partnering with Churchill on that. And to give you a couple stats real quick on the massive opportunity that it is to build a Dave tribe, over 4 million households have been through Financial Peace University. Over 10 million unique listeners every single week to the Dave Ramsey Show. He's a best-selling author. I mean, it's crazy. And if you've ever been through Financial Peace University like I have, where it was like life-changing for me and my life, man, when you go through it, you become an evangelist of it, So not only has he infected those households, but these households are out there telling all their people over and over and over again, like, you need to come into this tribe. It's one of the best tribes you could ever be involved in. You get an opportunity to create your own. And think about all of the incredible opportunities. Homebuyer Ready workshops, Financial Peace University, partnering with different Churchill loan officers who've already built their own relationship portfolio and partnering on serving them, serving your database with a unique value proposition of actually consulting them, not just in the transaction of the moment, but transactions over time so that you're their go-to agent for repeat and referral business. The opportunity is massive, and we would love to show you how partnering with us can help you build this massive relationship portfolio quickly. One that you'd love to work with quickly. So if that's of interest to you and you'd like to engage in that conversation, I'd be delighted to have it. Simply put your name, phone number, and email in, schedule a time with us. You and I will hop on the phone for 15, 20 minutes. I'd love to learn a little bit more about you, your business, what your objectives are, and we'll see if you're a match for us to help you do more business this next year.